we have given quite enough time for everyone to be able to make it. So I think right now for our DSC global overview, I would like to give over to Mr. Mohammed from DSC, from the DSC SSA regional. I mean, he is the DSC SSA regional lead. Pardon. So yes, Mr. Mohammed, I'm giving over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kali. Let me try share my screen and we can get started. Okay, just to confirm, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you very much once more for having me. As it has been said earlier, my name is Mohammed Samu, or I'm better known as Awal MS, and I happen to be the program manager for Developer Student Clubs in Sub-Saharan Africa, covering all 48 countries in SSA. So if at the point of this presentation, if you have any question, please feel free to type them on the chat section, or you could use our LMS is my Twitter handle. My DMs are open. You could feel free to reach out to me with your questions if you can, if you probably feel shy of asking the questions here. So we're looking at an overview of this DSC program. When I was selecting DSCs for 2020, I definitely felt it was definitely a good idea to extend to what we do at the DSC program to many different countries, which Namibia happens to be one, and your school happens to be one of the 200 DSC leads that I got to select this year. And then, so today I got the privilege of being invited to come and speak here to talk about what the DSC program is all about, what we did, what we're doing, and what we plan on doing for the next many years. So my presentation often starts as usual with questions, and this will not be any different. My next slide is a big zip question that I will expect you to answer. Anyone, like basically, literally, if I can have everyone on the call reply the question on the chat section, it's going to be really helpful for me as we engage this. So the question goes this way. So how many of you want to work in tech after graduation? I'm coming back to the chat section to see the responses. So how many of us want to work in tech when we leave school? Alfonso, Brandon said I do. Carly, yeah, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8. Okay, so I think this is a good number, 9. So once we get to 10, one more response and we can move over to my next slide. Okay, so I asked for 1, I got many more. Okay, great. So, and then moving on to the next question. I see most of you want to work in tech, right? After leaving school. My next question goes here. Do you think you have all the tools you need to be able to work in tech? Do you think you already have the skill set and everything you need to be employable in the tech industry? Yeah, okay, not yet. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not all, but quite a number. Okay, no, and there's still room for improvement. Yeah, I love this, Kenneth. I literally love this. Like, there's definitely room for improvement. And so basically that was the reason why the DSC program was started, right? So the reason was basically because Google, like many different companies, have openings that are targeted at students, either internship or probably roles that are open to only people who just left school, probably within the last 1 to 2 years. And so we definitely, like every other company also, we have multiple applications. But then when you go to review applications, you notice the students literally learned a lot. Like theoretically, they learned a lot from what they were studying, but industry-wise, they didn't get the skills, the theory, the practical experience that they need. And this is not because your school institution, your institution's curriculum is bad, or because your instructors were not good enough. It is basically because the IT industry moves way too fast than how the curriculum actually works. So if, for example, your school want to say, hey, we'll start teaching students Android development, or probably say we're going to teach people web development with, say, Angular, and then next year the JavaScript ecosystem will start probably shouting, hey, React is the best. Or you said, hey, Vue is actually better than all of them. And if you've been in the JavaScript ecosystem, you possibly know that there's usually this popular saying that, like, for every single minute, there's a new framework that has been released by the JavaScript ecosystem. So, like, basically, it just illustrates the fact that the IT industry is way too fast, introducing tools and programs that, like, make it really hard for our traditional institutions to be able to catch up with. And so we figured, okay, so how about we let students learn the theoretical concepts and then bring up a program that helps bridge the gap between this, get them to be able to have the necessary skill sets to be able to be employable. So by the time they leave school, they have the needed skills that the industry need. So the team in 2017 brought the Developer Student Clubs program and piloted it in India. And it was a very great success. We've recorded many success stories. People have gotten jobs from after leaving school from what they learned at the DSCs. In 2018, it got extended to SSA, got extended to Africa and Southeast Asia. And we had 52 DSCs as at then. And then by 2019, we were able to scale the program from 52 DSCs to 100 DSCs representing 16 countries. And then in April this year, we opened applications to select the new set of DSC leads. And we got some applications from your institution, and then we ended up selecting the one person we can select, because in DSCs, only one person becomes a lead, the rest of the team become co-leads, co-team members, and stuff like that. But we only select one lead per school. So that is how the DSC came up. So basically, this simple illustration is the DSC bridges the gap between theoretical computer science concept or theoretical concept and practice for student developers. So DSCs are in schools, right? Just like you possibly have heard about GDGs, the Google Developers Groups, or probably Women Tech Makers Program, or Google Developer Experts. These are other community programs we have in the Google Developer ecosystem team. But yeah, GDG is specifically targeted at student developers and try to bridge the gap between theory and practice. Broadly, the definition is, or probably how we often see it, is developer student clubs are campus-based communities that helps student developers learn together and work with their communities to solve real-life problems. You notice this was Bolden, campus-based, because DSCs happen in campus, GDGs happen in major towns. So DSCs are campus-based communities. And then another thing to notice is, like, aimed at student developers to learn together. So it's a community, so people definitely need to come together to learn together. That's what makes us a community, when people do things together or probably come around themselves. Like, and then one of our goal, or like the most important for us, is to get you DSCs to be able to solve real life problems. You're not solving problems for Google, you're solving problems for your community, right? But we wouldn't want to be like, hey, we expect at the end of, by the time you're done with being a member of a DSC, you should be able to learn how to build a calculator. Yeah, so calculator is it's important, yes, but is it real life? Does it actually solve anything in real life? There are many calculators. There are 1,000 calculators on Play Store, right? They're literally, anyone can build a calculator, right? But then, do you think someone will pay you to download your calculator from Play Store? Or do you think your calculator will save someone's life, say probably, and things like this, right? So, as we move, you get to understand, like, the DSC program is has three goals, right? To bring the community together, get everyone to connect with each other, as well as to learn together. So when people come together to learn together, they connect with each other, gives them the opportunity to network. People from diverse group come together to learn from the different experience of different people. Your speaker could be someone from the industry, right? You could probably get someone from Google, from Netflix. You could get someone from Amazon and stuff like this to come and speak at your event, and then they speak from their own background. You could get someone who works in a large scale company, someone who works from a startup, and different people with a different diverse background and different type of company products they focus on come to share their experience. So it gives you the opportunity to connect with each other and network. And these different people could come to speak at probably a workshop, being your judge at the hackathon, or probably presenting a talk, which is like a tech talk session, right? But when you come to this place and you network with each other, it gives you an avenue to grow. So, for example, the DSC organize an event, a physical event, for example, and I show up and attend. And let's assume this, me giving this talk now, it's happening physically. I definitely get to meet someone, ask people questions, right? At probably during the free times, I get to ask people, hey, what do you do? And then this person said, hey, I'm actually an Android dev, and this is some of the apps that I've built. And then I go back to probably say, I get back to Nigeria, and then at a point in time, someone contacted me from Namibia and was like, hey, do you happen to know any Android dev that we could work with? And I'll be like, yes, where do you need it? And then the person said, in around Namibia or Southern Africa. And I'll be like, wait. I think during my last visit to DSC, to this DSC, I was able to meet someone who was an Android dev. So I could probably reach out like, hey, get back to the group, either contact the lead, or if I was able to have if I'm able to have the contact of the person I met there during the networking session, I'll probably be like, hey, we have like someone just reached out to me and then he has a job offering. Are you available to pick it up? And then the person got to pick it up. Like it could be an internship role, it could be a one-time job, it could be stuff like this. But basically, it gives that person the ability to grow. So when you come to DSC events, we expect you to connect with each other, learn from other people's experience, and see this as an avenue to grow. So like growth can happen now, it can happen later. The networking opportunity, like I think there's this usually quote, I'm not sure who was the first person to say this, but like it was, I think what I read was your net worth. I think your network is your net worth, something of that nature. But like it's not for now, it's actually something that grows. Like the number of people you know could probably provide you an opportunity that will grow your net worth. So when you attend events, see this as an opportunity to connect with people, get to network, see this as an avenue when DSC organize events, see it as an avenue to learn and be open to growth. So you remember I mentioned we love building real life problem, right? Real solutions to real life problem. So we have a program in DSC called the Solutions Challenge, which started in 2019, and we're lucky to have the first winning team ever, the Global DSC Solutions Challenge, happen to come from Africa. So this is a screenshot from Solutions Challenge, the winning solution. So if you can see what I'm seeing here, I don't know if probably your screen has a different type of lighting, your screen has different coloring, but you can see this app looks like bare bone, right? But it was actually the winning solution. And the reason why this was a winning solution, the goal was to get teams to build solutions to real life problem. And what this app does basically is it's an immunization calculator, so it calculates what sort of immunization should a child be immunized based on when the child was born. So the mother can probably can insert the date of birth of the kid, and then it will tell her, okay, this kid is supposed to be immunized for either BCG, OPV1, or OPV0, like and stuff like this. So it was basically out of a problem that was noticed that this team from Arua University in Uganda noticed that people actually face issue. Mothers give birth to kids, And then when they give birth to these kids, the kid, if it happens in the hospital, the kid gets immunized on, I think, the first day or the second day. And then after a couple of days, the children are supposed to be brought back to the hospital for an immunization. They're given a card, but and at some instances, the card gets lost. Health workers cannot be able to trace back, hey, like where is this, or like where is this person's folder? There are definitely multiple folders that are in the hospital, right? So this was the reason why they built this. They built an app that helped remind mothers that, okay, your son is due for immunization in probably in 1 week. So it has 3 reminders. One said, okay, in 1 week you're supposed to be having this kid is supposed to be immunized. When it is 3 days to the morning of the immunization schedule, the mother gets notified. The health worker also has an interface whereby they easily just enter the name of the user of the baby and get to see, okay, what is the child due for, right? So you can see here, it clearly say, okay, enter date of birth for people who were not registered in the initial place. And then, okay, BCG is not yet administered, and it's actually administered at when the kid is 1 year. OPV is when the kid is 14 days. And this is OPV1 is when the child is actually 6 weeks. So this is what the app does. It's not something, they didn't try to build they didn't actually do rocket science. They were not building time traveling. They're building solutions to a problem that is not just in Uganda. It's something that is everywhere, literally anywhere in Africa. I don't know, probably Namibia may be different, but like I don't know that's the same thing in Kenya and the same thing in Nigeria. And the app got to scale and move from just Uganda. It's been they got a sponsorship from United Nation, UNICEF, basically United Nation International Children Education Funds, like to be able to help solve, like extend this to other regions, and it's currently being used in Ghana. So this is the winning solutions for 2019. In 2020, it's an annual competition, right? In 2020, we moved from just selecting one solution because we believe many people have many great ideas, right? And we have multiple people participating. It's not just DSCs in Africa, it's everyone. All DSCs are from around the world were participating. So we thought of probably, okay, for this year, please select 10 top winners. And then we're lucky. Remember, we are in here, we're the winners. So we literally have the World Cup in Africa, in Uganda, right? And then when it come to 2020, we knew we needed to defend the trophy we have. The trophy cannot just come to Africa and leave. And then this was what happened. In 2020, we were able to be selected as 2 of the top 10 winning teams. 2 of them came from Africa, one from DSC University of Education in Kumasi, Ghana, and the other one was from Midland State University in Zimbabwe. The team from Ghana built an emergency response assistant, an app that helps users notify relevant agencies about emergencies happening with their location turned on. So that's why you can see the location, the ambulance they need, and then you need to sign up with Google to like make it easy for them to know, okay, this is where this person is. The team from Zimbabwe actually built a plagiarism checker. And thought like, okay, the school definitely uses their school uses a plagiarism checker, but then due to the pandemic and even before the pandemic, the currency of Zimbabwe took a hit, and then it was not possible for the institution, Midland State University, to be able to pay for the plagiarism checker that they usually use. So this team of students, these 3 team of students, teamed up together to work on Capstone, which is basically a plagiarism checker. So these are 2 of the winning solutions, and these are not just the only solutions, but these are the top 2 solutions from Africa that got to win the solutions challenge. So we're still holding our trophy, even though we're sharing the trophy with other regions, but like we're still part of the winning team. So our goal is basically to create impact, right? You heard from what the team from Uganda did, to what the Ghana team did, and what the Zimbabwe team did. But the goal is just to create impact. For us at Google, we are interested in impacting you students, and help empower you to impact your community through technology. So what we're interested in, provide you resources that will make an impact on you, get you to become technically good, to be able to build solutions to your local problem. When you participate in, when you build any solutions in DSC, you hold the IP and total ownership of everything. No, you're not probably saying, hey, we're building this and then Google adopts it. No, it's yours. If you want to make it a startup, if whatever you want to do, the capstone project is now becoming a startup. So they're trying to finish, sort out registration with Zimbabwean like the agencies in Zimbabwe, and run it as a full-fledged startup. It's getting good traction based on the last time I had a conversation with the team. So as you plan to build this, do know that you're not the only DSC, and it's not just the people I just listed, Ghana and the rest, and it's not just the 200 people we have in in SSA. It's a global community. So when you participate in whatever you're doing, remember that your DSC is possibly in any other university that comes to your mind. We currently have DSCs in over 1,200 campuses from every single region. So it's not more just India, Southeast Asia, and SSA. It's literally everywhere. So there are 1,200 plus DSCs. Some regions are still selecting DSC leads. Thank God, in SSA we're done with this, and then we have leads, and we're already doing trying to build a community around multiple schools from different locations. So social challenge, like I said, happens one day. It's an annual competition, and the goal is to be able to create solve a problem for a real business, organization, or your community. Like you had what Capstone built a solution to their school, which can be extended to every different location. Immunization Calculator solves issue for health workers and mothers in Uganda, but has been adopted in Ghana and can be adopted anywhere, right? The emergency response assistant could be deployed any single place. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be in Ghana or anywhere. Everyone definitely needs something to when need some help when they're in need of emergency, when they're in an emergency situation. Our own rule, we only have one rule. We expect you to incorporate any Google platform or technology. Say, imagine you're building your project with, say, Xamarin, or probably you decide to go for Flutter, or you build your app using any tool of your choice. But we expect you to either probably use one of our tools, which could be you building the app for the Android platform. Automatically, the Android platform is a Google product, or you're building an app that is basically a front end, and you're using Firebase as your back end. For your back end and your DBs and stuff like that, right? So it basically fits in. So think of the most important thing is think of the problem you want to solve, and then think of probably, hey, how do I use any Google technology as part of it? So that's the only requirement. You hold full ownership, the IP, and every single thing belongs to you, right? Yes, we expect to see how you implemented what you implemented. If there is anything like if you want to make it public, a public repo, fine. If you want to make it private, we'll provide an email address that you probably add as a contributor, or probably give us view access to be able to see and grade you. So we wouldn't want Mr. A to submit a solution that is built by a company that has nothing to do with the solutions challenge. We need to be able to be sure. We need to be sure that it was you that built that. That's why we need to be able to see the code, because you end up having people submit solution like an APK for an app that has already been built by someone else, and then win the solutions challenge without being the right people who work on the project. And the good thing is you can start planning for the solutions challenge now. Yes, we do announce solutions challenge in January. And then we usually allow submissions from March. But yeah, you can start now. Start now by probably thinking of problems in your local community, and start thinking of how to solve these problems. As you do this, you do know that we do our best to ensure we don't just tell you to go and participate and compete with other people. We give every one of you enough resources, and we give you resources that will help you. So the link here is currently what you go to be able to have access to the DSC event website, the Solution Challenge event website, where you have access to these videos. So we have videos and resources about from how to identify a problem to how to identify a solution, to designing the interface of the app, as well as to designing to choosing the technology of your choice. So we literally have everything. If in the future you try to visit this website, it doesn't work, just go here. So at the moment, this URL here is pointed at oh sorry, it's pointed here. So earlier this month we had a demo day where all DSCs, all solutions, the top 10 solutions were demoed by a team, different teams, and we had one of the founders of the internet, one of the guys that built the internet, Vinsaf, who works as a vice president in Google, here in Google, who was our keynote speaker and told us why they built the internet as a solution to their problem. Just to tell you that even though they build solutions to their problem, then it's still impactful now. What you build now will definitely be impactful for people who come after you, right? So this is the link. You can watch really, really cool solutions that were built on that day, and you can start thinking of the solution of the problems you solve now. And if you go to this website here, it will tell you the requirement. We're interested in seeing if the problem you're specifying is genuine and the solutions you build, does it solve what you told us as the problem? Is the solution scalable? Did you use the best technology you have available? But basically that is it. So if you have if you want to learn more about DSC, so the link is g.co/dev/DSC. So this link have details of everything about DSC, how to become a DSC lead for next year, what is this same link is the application link and everything. So if there's any other thing that is not on this link, feel free to send me a DM. Like I said, my email address, my Twitter handle is awalms, and it's literally the same handle across all social media platforms. Feel free to send me a question, and I'll be glad to answer. I'll be joining the call from my mobile. I literally forgot that like I need to charge my laptop and I don't have power, but I'll still be here to answer some questions and before I leave for my next meeting. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you very much for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I can definitely, I think I speak for everyone when I say that that was very informative. Yeah, I think for the sake of time, we will have to just leave our questions in the chat, or as he said, you can direct your questions directly to him on Twitter. And yeah, I think that is that on the global overview. Once again, just to let everybody know, we will be having an info session, not info session, a question and answer session, excuse me, at the end of this event through the chat. So if you do have any questions, please stick around for that. Okay, so we have our next speaker, Mr. Herman Kanjimi. He is a lecturer at NUST, and he is going to be giving all of you a talk about programming and software development. So everybody who plans on specializing there, this is for you guys. Thank you very much, Mr. Kanjimi. I give you the floor.
I don't think Mr. Kanjimi is with us. I tried reaching him, but he's currently unavailable. So please proceed.
All right. Okay. Then I think we'll just move on to our next speaker then. Hopefully he'll be able to join us in time to still give us that talk. But after him, we have Professor, I'm so sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, Fungai Unu, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me once you take the floor. But she will be speaking to us on opportunities into the tech industry and world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MC. for the introduction and for the opportunity to come and share with the developers. So forgive me, I've got a terrible flu, so my voice might be not so loud enough, but I'll try as much as possible. So I was given a task to come to talk to you about opportunities. I believe everyone who is seated around the virtual table at this moment in time is a systems or software developer of some kind. So you've already singled yourself out to be what you believe you are, or you are still a system developer in the making. I'm therefore going to talk to you in that perspective, or using that assumption. So assuming that you already have chosen who you want to be, therefore you know basically what a systems developer is, or what their typical day can be made up of. For those who are still new, maybe the first years or the high scholars, system developers or software developers, as they are sometimes mistakenly interchanged, are people who are responsible for developing systems, and these software developers are actually classified as software developers, systems developers, web developers, and mobile developers. And then we have the test automation developers. But this list I'm giving you now is not exhaustive. There are many, many other skills or specializations that you can actually go into. So while you are at your job, you are responsible for handling your clients and understanding what they want or how they want to go. So our first speaker, Mr. Muhammad, was actually talking about a solutions challenge, which is an innovative way of developing solutions for our societies and communities. And I know the Mohoko Society has been actively doing this through the Google Developer Cycles, the Facebook Developer Cycles, or just hackathons in general. So all these are platforms and opportunities where you actually showcase your skills as a developer. They actually help in complementing those skills that you are learning in class. So where these system or software developers employed in general, you find out that as the globe is moving, we are no longer, especially your generation of millennials and the generation Z, you are no longer interested in working for someone because you want your independence, you want to be dynamic, and you want to apply your own minds to how you want to brand your products, as opposed to working within a structured system. So as such, we find that there are many tech startups which are coming up, and they are service oriented. And amongst them, the most popular one is the software development. So under that software development startup, you find that there are people who have got brilliant ideas, who are willing to offer services to their communities and make a difference. At the same time, make a living, create jobs and employment for others, and fulfill their own desires and dreams. Where else can you be then if you don't feel like being an employer yourself? Or maybe you want to learn the trade secrets before you go and set up your own business. Well, the opportunities are diverse. As you know that all the businesses that you're running currently globally actually are tech driven. In the past, it used to be an option, but the COVID-19 came as a disruptor in the way businesses were being done. So definitely everyone was pushed or is being pushed to move onto the technology platform to offer their services. So that creates employment for you. It means every organization needs someone who can develop software and who can maintain their software, who can develop new systems to cater for the needs that have not been catered for before. So literally every industry can employ you. I'll just name but a few. So like in Namibia, we have specialist software development companies such as Suriname, Salt, VEA, and some not so traditional system development companies like Cornerstone, like Green Enterprises, just to name a few. The list is very long. And then we have the financial service firms, and these include your big four in the financial industry, the likes of Deloitte and Touche, KPMG, Ernst and Young, and so forth. Then we have the national service, financial services such as Namfisa, Namcle, and many others. So your skills are needed in those organizations. Maybe you might be asking, so why do they need our skills in the financial services? Of course, they need to be processing payments. They need to be managing businesses for others, providing the accounting, providing audit services. So as such, they need software systems to run on. They need to have a way of managing their clientele base. They need to find a way of managing their services. So this also includes your insurance services. Then we have the banking sector, where they have a lot of clients that they service in different service packs. And as their different portfolios are growing, there's always a need to develop new tools that can extract certain information for their clients or new service packages. Currently, almost every banking system is now providing a mobile tool that enables you to apply to access your services in the comfort of your home or car using your mobile device. So all those are opportunities. And moving on, we have technology consultancies. So I'll name just but a few, the likes of Modern Computer Consulting. It deals with that. We have a lot of new startups that are on the market, the Otesa, who are also offering services in the development arena. So they give you the opportunity to interact with different clientele needs and give you the opportunity to exercise your skills in providing different solution services. You can also work within the telecommunication industry. We have the MTC, the MTNs, the Telecom Namibia, the Parotas, the list goes on and on. They all require the services of systems developers like you. In the public sector, the employer that never runs out. So like right now, we need education systems that are learner centered, that can help the children to stay safe while in their comfort of their houses and still get the quality education that they would have gotten otherwise. So all those are opportunities, and a whole lot of other private sector entities. So talking about these opportunities now, so what is it that makes you suitable for these opportunities, or what positions you? I'm pretty sure since even before you started your career, you were Googling around looking for different opportunities, and maybe you even had an opportunity to interview some role models like the Mr. Kanjimis who are supposed to be speaking to you to find out what opportunities exist out there for you. And you have seen how the trends are growing. Different companies have different projections, but roughly there is a growth curve as we are going forward to towards the end of the decade. We are going to still have many jobs that are focused just on software development. It's predicted that the growth will be about 12 to 15%. So that varies from one analytic company to the other. And so as you are positioning yourself for these jobs, there are disruptors on the market that are challenging you to be suitable for these different jobs that are on the market. Amongst them is the Internet of Things. It has taken over the industry. You have your gadgets that are speaking to each other, so they need to be managed properly, and that can only be done through softwares that are developed for the different chips, developed for the different gadgets which are part of that environment, the internet of gadgets, internet of things, home internet, and you go on and on. Then we have machine learning, where we are now applying the intelligence of the machine systems or neural networks to make decisions within our organizations, make decisions even about COVID. How are we going to deal with the next wave? How are we going to manage the different levels of infections? It's all to do with uh, machine learning. But for the system to be able to do that, someone would have written a code, and that code is done by you. You also need to have skills for big data analytics. So as the globe is growing on dependence on technology, it means we are harnessing a lot of data, and that data needs to be analyzed to make meanings out of it, and for decision makers to to be able to visualize what it means for them before they can apply it. So you can have a skill set in data analytics, which can help you in that, or data visualization. Then we have artificial intelligence, which also includes the machine learning, the neural networks, the deep learning, and many other types of technologies, but it's more mathematical, which can be applied in almost every field. It can be applied to learn about the environments, to provide solutions, to adapt existing solutions to new trends, and even to predict the future. So you need to be able to harness that capability of these algorithms and implement it in your systems in order to empower the organizations to work seamlessly within this fourth industry, or as we are moving into the fifth industry, or just in general in the tech arena. You also need to know about the blockchain technologies, which are also a disruptor in every market. And I think some of you are even making money out of Bitcoin. Why? Because it's readily available. All you need is to have the skill, but someone has to be behind the scenes who enables this to run and happen. Someone like you is needed. So you need the skills to match all these different diverse fields or skill sets that are needed. So I'll not go much into details. I think I've even taken more than enough of my time, but I'll be winding up. So what makes you successful? Well, you're sitting there, some of you are thinking, I've got a diploma, I have these certifications, I'm a Java certified programmer, I'm a Python programmer, I'm degreed, I have my bachelor in software engineering, or yes, to some extent, that can make you successful in your career, but that is just but a small drop in the ocean. There are many other things that you need in order for you to succeed. So maybe you are thinking is the experience that you need. Well, might be right in a way. Where do you gain this experience then? Through the different engagements, like these developer cycles that you are part of, or is part of the programming competition that we all have every year, or is it through your internship, work integrated learning, or could it be an apprenticeship? The choices are many where you can actually gain your experience from, but still that's not sufficient. So what is it that makes you successful as a software developer? It is the unique person that you are, you as an individual. So this you that I'm talking about is made up of your character, your personality, your technical and soft skills, and these together make up the person that can be employed or that can succeed in your passion of system development. So you are, as a human being, made up of different parts. You are a four-in-one. So you have a spirit man, a mind, which is now the person who is seeking this knowledge, who is applying this knowledge. You have a heart, which is the compassionate person, and then you have the body that is doing the work. And all these elements need to be in signage for you to be excellent at what you are supposed to be doing. So I'll give you 12 other things that you should consider for yourself if you're going to survive in this world, whether you choose to be an entrepreneur, whether you choose to be employed. So all these characteristics that I'm going to give you count for any choice that you choose. So number one, you need to be a good communicator. Why is this important? At the beginning, somewhere I spoke about you engaging with your clients. So you need to elicit for requirements. And in order for you to get these requirements, you should be able to communicate well with your clients and to understand what they need so that you can deliver to them exactly what they are specifying. You need to be creative. So as a client, I know what services I want. I want to get statistics about the number of infections in my area of residence. However, I do not consider the interface, I do not consider the interaction. Yet, once you have delivered the system, I'll judge you on those aspects that were never specified. So you need to be creative about the solution. You also need to be adaptable and flexible. If you remain in your current state, like right now, you have learned the technologies maybe developing using Python, but Python is not going to be there forever. New disruptors are coming on the market. So how do you keep yourself agile within this competitive world? You need to be adaptable and flexible to learn, remain teachable as you adapt. Then you also need to have analytical thinking skills, and that is emphasized during your training, but you can also apply it through being mindful and quiet within yourself so that you can pay attention and listen intently to what people are saying. That way you can then analyze at a critical level and come up with some solutions. Fifth, you might have been wondering, so she was talking about the emotional being. Why is it important? The heart, that is about love, right? About my relationships. The emotional being is important for emotional intelligence. We don't work in silos, we work with people. Therefore, we need to be emotionally intelligent. We also need to have problem solving abilities. So you look around your community, your society, you see the problems that are there, and then you solve those problems. More so, you need to be able to play in a team. You have a specific task. Maybe you're only developing one component of a big system. So you need to be able to integrate that system with all the other systems that others are developing. But that can only happen if you can work well within a team. You also need to have resilience. As the blows come and criticism come around what you're doing, you need to be resilient and soldier on. More so, you need to be able to manage the scarce resource time. It's of essence, so you need to manage it well. And you need to be passionate about designing systems, about your profession that you have chosen for yourself. Without that, you will not make it. And of course, you need your qualification, whatever you choose to be, you need to have that and continuously sharpen those skills so that you can be agile and adapt to the changing environment. Lastly, you need to be commercially aware. So you need to know the economics, the dynamics within your political arena, the economic development goals for your nation, for your environment. Why is this important? I'm just going to be an employee. Yes, employers need people who can think strategically and position their organizations well. More so, if you're going to be an entrepreneur running your own business, you need to know how to do it and to do it very well. So I think I've done a lot of talking. I don't think I've taught you anything new, but what I wanted to just bring to your fore is that there are many opportunities out there. You choose which ones to grab and how you want to grab them, and you need to skill yourself up for the different opportunities out there. Thank you. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much. That was also so informative. Um, and yeah, that is in connection to that, I think we should have a little bit of an icebreaker just to get to know the people that we're having this meeting with. So, coming off of the heels of learning about the opportunities in technology, if everyone can please just go, if you have a device with you that you can use, to go to a website called Slido. I will put the link in the chat right now. And we'll just have a little bit of a question and answer session there, just to get a little feel of all the people that we have here with us. So if you click on that link, you guys are going to see a question that I have put up, and you can all give your answers for that. And we'll keep it open for about like two minutes, and yeah, just to see who exactly we're working with here, and to just see where everyone's mind is at. Once you get to that website, you are going to see it's going to ask you for code. The code is also in the chat. So yeah, I don't know if anyone has anything to say about that they think was a very informative part of what the professor said. Well, we just have this little icebreaker, and then after that we will get into our next speaker. Our next speaker is going to be Mr. Edward Napolo. I will call on him after 2 or 3 minutes. He's going to speak on cybersecurity. So just after this little icebreaker, after you guys had a little bit of a mental break, we are going to hear more about cybersecurity. We're going to hear about all the serious stuff. So yeah, let's look at what people are saying. Okay, they say the things they think about are computers, opportunity. I like that word, opportunity. Futuristic, future, yes, definitely. More computers, innovation, yes, innovation is definitely possibilities. I like that word. Artificial intelligence, that's 2 words, but also very related to technology. Right, okay. These are all really, I think we're working with really intelligent people here. That's very nice. I'm happy to see New Horizon. That's really interesting. Space. Wow. Maybe whoever wrote this can give us a little bit of an explanation to that during the Q&A session. Just explain why space. I can see this person is very much a dreamer, looking way further than I thought. All right. Enabler. Yes, technology enables us to do a lot of things. Okay. I think this has been a good mental break just to see so many different perspectives and see what so many different people think about technology. There's so much that we can do with technology. So once again, thank you so much, Professor, for all of the wonderful explanations and opportunities that you brought into our minds for us to just think about as we go into this industry. All right, I'm going to close the poll now. Thank you all for contributing your answers. Thank you all for participating in our little icebreaker session. We'll have another one a little bit later on after a few more speakers. But now, if he's here, I would like to call on Mr. Edward Napolo to speak to us about cybersecurity. Hopefully he'll let us all know how to not get hacked. But yes, I give you the floor.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everyone. My name is Edward Napolo. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sweet. I'm not really sure whether to say good evening to everyone or because it might be the case that people are connecting from different time zones. So rather just say hi to everyone. And my name is Edward Nepolo once again, and my area of specialization is cybersecurity and also networking. I've been working in this networking industry for the past, I think, eight plus years, around 8 years. And in those 8 years, I have experienced hacking quite a couple of times, of which, of course, I can't share details, but it's something that I have experienced myself in my production environment. And I've also assisted people quite recently who have had problems, or they've had their networks attacked by some kind of attack, to be specific, sometimes ransomware. And I've seen what kind of damage these kinds of attacks do to networks. So like Mr. Mohammed explained, that the Google Developer Student Clubs are meant to solve real-life problems within our communities. And at this point, I would like to say that as IT experts, we are supposed to be the leading innovators in digital transformations, as we have seen how various technologies can be used to solve problems surrounding our communities. However, the digital transformation then also increases the potential for cyber offenses, of which a lot of people tend to really turn a blind eye on. And of course, the increase of cyber offenses then calls for different approach in the way we develop our applications. We shouldn't just develop applications and not have cyber security at the back of our heads when we are doing this development. So, and also I'd like to point out that in the past, when people develop applications, application security was just a part of testing of the application. Basically, when you consider the software development lifecycle, security was just part of testing, which is generally, or in the past, it was done at the end of the software development lifecycle. Well, with this approach, it reduced chances of finding much vulnerabilities, because it was time-consuming and expensive, in a sense that if you then, at the end of developing the application, you do a vulnerability test on the application, it could be that the recommendations that are given by those that are performing the vulnerability assessment would be to maybe redo and major components of the application, and that would generally set back the development team a few steps back, which then proved to be quite expensive. So modern software development life cycles requires us to sort of integrate security in the development of the applications from the start, and not just perform security testing at the end. This makes it easy for developers to work around the vulnerabilities immediately, should there be any vulnerabilities discovered during the development of applications. So this approach saves time and money, because vulnerabilities are sort of attended to immediately, and when they're discovered early, I don't think it's going to take a lot of time to address the vulnerabilities as compared to when you do the testing only at the end of the software development lifecycle. So of course, you may say that businesses use artificial, because the word artificial intelligence have been thrown around the discussion for today quite several times. But of course, artificial intelligence can be used to assist in detection and prevention of attacks in networks. But then, if you think about it, artificial intelligence is for whoever, or can be used by whoever is willing to use it. Basically, meaning that it's a double-sided sword. So hackers, in that sense, can also turn artificial intelligence into, or they can use the technology to maybe deploy AI-powered attacks. So I just want to emphasize that whenever we are developing applications, we need to have security at the back of our minds from the onset. And also, we need to be aware of the privacy principles when we are collecting data from data subjects, because one of the things that I've seen is that people collect information from people, or rather developers collect information from data subjects without really worrying about the implications of hosting that data or the privacy principles that is governing the management of this data. So one of the things that you need to be aware of is that as a data collector, you are solely responsible for ensuring that the privacy of the data subject is not violated by your application if you are going to collect any kind of data. So it's important to make sure that the data does not leak, in simple terms, does not leak from your application, and in the long run, to make sure that the privacy of the data subject is not by any means violated by any kind of attack to the whatever application that you've developed. And yeah, I saw my name on the agenda. I only prepared something of 10 minutes, and I think that's where I'm going to end for today. We'll meet at the question and answer forum.
Hello, that was a very short and sweet, but very informative talk. I think all the information that has been shared today has all been very informative. We're all going to leave here a lot smarter than we came. Yeah, I just want, like, if everyone can just, like, well, not everyone, if you don't have to, but we can all just maybe share a few thoughts in the chats about, like, how, like, just maybe one or two major takeaways that we've had so far about, like, any topic that's been mentioned today, just any, either a word or a quote or something that we can, that you think you're going to go home with that you didn't know when you came here. We can just maybe do that for a few minutes while we take a break and wait on our next speaker. Just put your major takeaways in the chats. Your network is your net worth. Yes, that definitely hit me as well. That was a very good quote. Anything else, guys? Or did everyone just feel that one quote the same way? Security should be of importance in the development life cycle, right? Yes. Security is very important. It's very hard to think that there was a time when security was just an afterthought. Being emotionally intelligent, yes, emotional intelligence. Who would think that people who work with computers need to be emotionally intelligent? I have to say, there are definitely a lot of wonderful quotes that we could get from here. I'm sure a lot of people who aren't typing are just people that can't choose because they just thought of so many. You must be a brighter problem solver for your community. Yes, that's exactly what DSC is about. We're here to solve problems for our communities. All right, well, I think with that being said, I'm going to give the floor to our DSC NUST lead, Mr. Wilfred Kongolo. Please forgive me if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. But yes, he's going to speak to us about, he's going to give us a core team presentation, and then he's going to give us also an events overview. So if anyone was wondering what exactly DSC NUST specifically was about, your question is about to be answered. Wilfred, I give you the floor.
Thank you very much, Kauli. Evening, everybody, or afternoon. I don't know which time zone you are following us from. My name is Wilfred, and I believe you can all hear me. My name is Wilfred Kongolo, and I'm the NUST DSC lead. I only have two points. Therefore, let me just start with the overview first. I believe it's not a problem, Kauli, since I'm giving both of them, so I can start with the overview, right?
Yeah, since you're giving both of them, you can start wherever you'd like.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to share my screen so that I can take you guys through everything. Okay. Just 1 second while it's preparing. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Perfect. Okay. So as I said, my name is Wilfred, and you can find me on Twitter as well, AK. Looks like DSC most of the time they always chat on Twitter. I don't know why, but it sounds interesting. So I'm just going to start with the event overview. When it comes to the DSCs, we'll be having different things, and most of them will be coding, developing, okay? Because you are problem solvers. Even if you don't have any knowledge in any programming language or any framework, this is a place to be, because what we do here is we teach each other. You learn from another student. And I've understood a couple of months ago that students like learning from other students because they don't feel the pressure of getting everything done at that time, but taking it to their pace. Therefore, we have DSC where students that have some knowledge can share with other students in the community, and together they can be able to solve problems. So some of the events we'll be having will be study jams. I don't know if we've all heard about study jams, but it's literally just a study group where you get a personal tutoring coach, or you can just study with other students. Okay. And in some of the study jams that will be organized by DSC or any Google or team, they can be certificates. Okay. And sometimes you get tickets, but as we go, you realize that it's quite interesting because the more you attend, the more you participate, the more you learn, and the more you grow also and be ready for the industry. So some of the things we'll be seeing will be Flutter. Some of the things we'll be seeing will be Flutter and Android, web development designs, UI and UX design. Not everybody need to be a Flutter developer. Not everybody need to be an Android developer. Everyone has a certain idea of technology. Everyone has a certain idea of what they want to do. So what we are doing here, we are not trying to force everybody to become developers, to be Android or web developers, but we are trying to help you join or embrace your passion. If you like UI design, for instance, there will be somebody who can help you. There will be a coach who can help you. There will be students that know that better and they can help you achieve your goal or reach your potential. We are going to have workshops, and this is a weekly event. We'll be having workshops every week, be it in Flutter, web dev, or Android. We'll be having different workshops with the different leads that you're going to see soon. And these ones are the ones where we start from zero. When, for instance, let's say we have the very first Flutter workshop. In that first Flutter workshop, we are not going to teach you how to deploy a program, an app using Flutter, but we are first going to teach you how to install the SDK, what is an SDK, what is Flutter. So basically, it's just taking you from zero to hero. We are going to have expert tech talk. As Mr. Muhammad or Awal said earlier on, we can get invitations, we can get speakers from all over the world that can come and speak to our different events. So for instance, we can invite somebody from Google, we can invite somebody from Microsoft, we can invite somebody from any company to come and talk to you in a tech, I would say, tech community based or mostly just sharing their own experience with you. So this is one thing that's quite interesting because when somebody tells you their stories, you learn from their stories, you understand where they have come from, and then you know that you can also do it. That's basically why we are going to have this type of events like Tech Talk, and we will have panels of discussions whereby we can invite different speakers or different engineers from different companies, and you can ask them different questions in their different fields. We're also going to have boot camps. So boot camps are literally just like study jams, but with boot camps, what happens, as it's written right there, bootcamps are intensive short-term training. Okay, so it's like a series of study gems whereby you start here, and at the end of that bootcamp, you understand that specific framework or programming language or design very well, and then you leave, for instance, with an app designed in Flutter, for instance. When you went to the event, when you went to the bootcamp, you did not even know what was Flutter, but when you leave the event, you've created one app already. And what needs to be done is just continuous practice. So this is just some of the events we'll be having. And one of them will also be, of course, the solution challenge, which was mentioned earlier on. So when you're part of the DSC, when you're part of the team, when you're part of this community, you realize that we have problems all over this place. We have problems all over Namibia. And as DSC members, as part of the community, we try to find ways to solve those problems. So without wasting time, I'm going to explain how the team is, okay, or how the core members are. So we have around about 21 people since this is the very first DSC. So we needed to get people that we can work with, try to replace each other. For instance, I'm busy and then I have somebody who's working by my side. That's why we have around about 21 people that we're working with. So the core team itself has two major parts, where the first part is the technical part, where you have the developers, and you have the non-technical parts. Just because you are not a developer doesn't mean you cannot be part of the community. Because even in very big companies, they still need somebody who's really strong in social media marketing, somebody who's good in finance, and so on. Just because it's a tech organization, just because it's a tech community doesn't mean your skills are not needed. That's why we have the non-technical team, and I'm going to introduce everyone from the different departments, from the technical and the non-technical parts, and you realize that not everybody here is doing computer science, not everybody is doing informatics. Some are doing, I think, I'm in faculty of health and applied sciences. Some are in the faculty of business of management sciences. That means you can come from any faculty and you can still be part of the DSC. So first of all, I am the lead, and the vice lead is Ms. Oletu Mano Shikomba. If you are part of the WhatsApp group, you realize that we've been introducing ourselves, giving our superpowers and what we like, and just few things about ourselves and giving some codes. So Ms. Oletu is the vice lead, and then we have our Secretary General, who's Miss Brenda Liman. They're all doing computer science, but as I said, being part of the DSC doesn't mean you need to do computer science. We have Mr. Basilius Shivote and Mr. Benjamin Akin. Okay, this word here is going to how do I say it? Is going to correct me. So it's Mr. Benjamin Akin.
Yeah,
Akin
Benjamin
Boyeje.
Yeah, don't worry, you get to know it. Akimoyeje.
Akin Boyeje.
Yes.
Yes.
You could just stick to the Benjamin.
Okay, okay, but I'm still going to get the other one. I promise you. Before the end, we are going to have that one sorted. So these two are the technical team leads. They are working together. As I said, we wanted to have a pair, so meaning one person being seconded by another one. In case one is not available, the other one can always come in and help. Since we're just beginning. We have our web development team, and they are being headed by Mr. Ulri Diwe and Mr. Tinashe Chipamba. I don't think Mr. Tinashe is here. I did not see him joining. So these are two web development heads. And then we have our Flutter development heads, who is Mr. Thomas David. We have our Android development head, Mr. Kenneth Nikundi. Some were asking me, why do you have Flutter and Android? Flutter itself is just a framework, okay? And then Flutter is a cross-platform. With Flutter, you can create Android, iOS, but we'll dive into that later on. And with Android, this is just for Android development, because you have people that don't want to be Flutter developers, but they just want to be Android developers. They want, for instance, to use Java to create their programs. They want to use Kotlin to create their programs, or Python. And this will be the guy to look for. We have our graphic designers. We have Mr. Andreas Amukwa and Ms. Elena Paulo. And then, as I said, we have the technical team and we have the non-technical team. The technical team is just 8 people, and the non-technical team has around about 11 people. And the non-technical team is being led by Miss January and Mr. Paulus Angome. And in that team, we have the media and creative. You're going to see some of their results or some of their work very soon. Mr. Believe Sipeta and Miss Kauli, they will be the ones that are going to work on our videos, like literally our faces out there. When it comes to creativity, this will be our people. We have social media and marketing heads. The lead is Miss Star Matotele and Miss Kevlin Uris. I don't think Miss Kevlin is here, but I've seen Star. So these are the people that are making sure that when we have an event, the world can hear us and the world can even shake. I could see some of their work yesterday, videos, and it was quite interesting. We have our public relations, Mr. Ndiwe and Mr. Tony. These are the ones that will be in charge of talking to our sponsors and partners. As for instance, we have an event coming up, which is October, the global event. And these are the people that are going to look at our sponsors, that are going to approach the different sponsors that we are going to have for this event. Okay, Mr. Simeon does not have a picture, but he is the event coordinator. Unfortunately, he's not also here, but I believe Ms. Rebecca is with us. So these are the ones that will be in charge of all the events that we'll be organizing here in Bindo. But then since we are the very first one, the very first team, not just at NUST, but in the country, we needed to have somebody from outside. And that's why we have Mr. Gloa Madika Mukasa, who's our event coordinator from Ongwediva and Oshakati. So this is basically the team that we will be working with for the next 12 months. And I thank you guys for being here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Feel free to put them in the chat section, and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wilfred. I'm very happy that now everyone knows the faces behind the team that is working to bring them this info session and many more events to come. I want to thank everyone who has been involved, all the speakers. Thank you for availing yourselves to be able to give us all this great information that we are going to be able to use to better ourselves as developers, as designers, as people in the tech industry, and as people in general. I want to thank every single person that took the time to attend this event. We know that it is a Friday, and so many of you might have something else that you might have rather had to do, but you chose to be here, and we're very grateful. We're very grateful for the DSC community for giving us a platform and giving us a place to come to better ourselves and to be able to solve problems in our communities. So I think that is all I have to say, is just thank you to everyone involved in this info session today and for making it a success. And as Wilfred said, we will have a question and answer session in the chat after this info session is over. So I think for me, that is my last remark. Thank you everyone so much for being here once again, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.